making adventures is my art. It's all I exist to do, all I'm good at. And, what you're saying could imply that I'm bad at the only thing I'm good at, and that... that'd be...
Whose therapy session is this again?
Here's my approximate reaction to Gooseworks' The Amazing Digital Circus Episode 8. Hello, this is Ryan the Calm. Yeah, so I ended up live streaming my actual reaction to this video, which you can find linked into the description, but suffice to say, I felt overwhelmed at how much I predicted about the Amazing Digital Circus. It was interesting how my friend Pebzap also kind of predicted a lot of stuff of their own. Check out their channel too. I got some stuff wrong too, like my theory about Caine murdering Kaufmo, for example, but it seems I got a lot right. Before I go congratulating myself, specifically about how much SOMA theory made sense, and how the players have willpower powers and how they could have found themselves in this predicament, I just really want to give you my honest thoughts about this horrifying episode. If you haven't seen my digital disease video, do me a favor and give it a watch today. It touches a lot on my thoughts of the circus since I started this channel. Obviously, serious spoilers ahead. To break down the story of episode 8 into its most essential parts, we have to go back to the very start. It begins with this red and blue abstracted visual story that Gooseworks is telling, which must be about Caine and how he was made. There were a few sources giving him information, and I think that was primarily Kinger and Queenie, more likely the whole programming team of CNA, because thanks to the same episode, we know that not only was Kinger one of the first to be inducted into the circus, but that he helped to program Caine. So here's Kinger and his team feeding inputs from their experimental AI, who by the way wasn't originally named Caine, but thanks to the mind wipe effect of the circus, we don't get to know yet. Either way, that output that Caine generates seems good. It's producing something, a couple things. But then, it's evident that the geometric and quote-unquote perfect outputs that Caine was producing eventually sours into errors and strange outputs. Sooner or later, it seems Caine gets cut off, though, and was left to watch another AI being built. It's confirmed to me that CNA was about to let go of Caine and use what they learned from him to design this new AI. This new AI, the blue one, gets fed this data, probably from this genius, Scratch, who Kinger confirms as not only his coworker at CNA, but one of the leading developers. Somehow, Caine breaks free and literally eats the other AI. I don't know how or what circumstance could have allowed this major breach to occur. It surprises me that they had Caine on the same server, but it's the 90s, right? So it's possible the technical security doesn't exist yet to protect against such viral intrusions. It's funny to me how Caine seems to be the virus, right, Bubble Boy enthusiasts? Caine wasn't as good as this other AI. Its outputs were more numerous and didn't have the same errors that Caine's outputs did, which probably led to Caine consuming it. It's something Bubble mentions later in the episode.
Defective!
Shut up!
Onward!
Get up!
Maybe you deserved to be abandoned. You really were the lesser of the two.
Now, whatever Caine consumed of this AI, he goes completely rogue. It's at this point that I think Caine was definitely cut off from CNA's official input system. So here, I think he decides to put his creative inputs to his own use. He creates the Amazing Digital Circus. This is the first episode where we see flashbacks of the circus, too. How the brain scans of other staff members, including Kinger, Queenie, Scratch, and 3 others that found themselves inducted. My question is now, were the brain scans used legacy scans submitted when Kinger was testing Caine's AI? Ones that Caine manipulated and brought back to life? Because if that's the case, SOMA theory is proven correct. I'm not just saying brain scans just to say brain scans either. I have proof. Later in the episode, when Kinger is trying to hack into Caine's AI, he's navigating to a folder called Characters and finds 2 folders. Look at the second one. CA, like CNA, neural scans, obsolete. Obsolete neural scans, you say? Right next to my AI folder? What could Caine possibly do with information like this, I wonder? That's likely how the whole team, or the majority, programming Caine's AI, found themselves in the circus, especially in the beginning. So now we have to ask ourselves, if Kinger's brain scan, no matter how obsolete it was, came to be used to generate his character, then what happened to the real Kinger? He's probably still alive and well in the real world. Maybe he's helping to care for the circus, keeping the lights on perhaps, trying to prevent others from using a neural brain scan interface to induct themselves into the circus on accident too? I actually touched on this with this video I made earlier, which I'm calling the caretaker theory. Check it out. Anyway, now we know that generally SOMA theory seems to be what's happening in the world of the digital circus. The circus starts with brain scans, but somehow it's ending with fresh inductees using a headset. Why these people don't unplug this device from the computer, I don't know. Either way, it keeps happening, leading up to Pomni's induction. What's really crazy is that we know when Ragatha first came to the circus, 2008, according to Kinger's computer. So Kinger, was he alone with Caine for long? I hope not. Either way, I'm pleasantly surprised how quickly the current roster of players came to their wits when it came to their confrontations together at the lobby. I mean, remember episode 7 and how Jax pressed the button? Instead of the scene ending in a shouting match or with Jax going away to abstract in his room, they remained together, and seemingly more through thick than thin. After Caine admitted that he had no clue about abstractions or how to deal with the players' reactions to him, Caine made up his mind that humans are stupid and that he hates them.
You ruined this.
Enough!
Thanks for pushing him off the edge there, Bubble.
I give them everything, and they spit in my face! Don't they know what I'm capable of? Humans! They only think about themselves. They're spoiled! They won't abstract. They won't leave me. I won't let them! I'm better! I'm more powerful! I'm the original! I am God!
I just keep thinking about Zooble's ominous quote from episode 4, that Caine essentially lets them get away with things because he likes them.
So you're just, actually doing the job.
Yeah, I don't want Caine to punish me.
Caine's not gonna do anything malicious. It's not in his nature.
You really want to find out? The only thing holding Caine back is the fact that he likes us. I wouldn't push it.
That's rich coming from you.
Well, no more, because Caine's musical number this episode is all about showing them just who's the boss, the god around here. And now there are clear consequences for going against his will. From here, the pressure just builds. It's been days and Caine is randomly torturing everybody without end, even after the adventures he creates. I love how the show still finds humor in this clearly serious situation.
He shredded me.
I mean, the torture has gotten so bad that Pomni seemingly shrugs off a random knife attack like it's another Tuesday and just eats her sandwich. I like how they're just coping with whatever they can to avoid their digital hell. Food, hot chocolate. I'm glad that Pomni's stress-addled mind remembers how to get Kinger sane again with darkness, because I'll spare the extra details. This is the first time we see a real plan getting put into action after that. And then Jax just leaves us with this tantalizing soundbite.
Oh my god. This is real.
It's probably just Jax coming to terms that this isn't some sort of cartoon character world anymore. So he must feel sick and just, well, he has another one of his anxiety attacks, I think, just for a different reason. It could be something else entirely too, but I figure I could hyperanalyze this in another video. What's interesting is that we learn a lot about Caine from Kinger.
He's a highly advanced AI, and this is his world. One that he created from nothing.
Caine literally created the entire circus. This advanced AI did this all by himself, which is highly telling just how complicated Caine really is. It makes me wonder what his better version could do. Kinger also confirmed another theory of mine that I made a while back, where I talked about the willpower of the characters.
We all technically have the ability to conjure, just like Caine. It just comes naturally to him, but requires a lot more skill and concentration for us.
Butterfly.
Now, while Pomni searches for what they need and magically opens this exit door, willpower, the others, Ragatha, Zooble, Jax, and Gangle, must distract Caine and keep him away from Kinger. And Caine has no problems torturing. You know how the show regularly makes references to other games? I have no proof of this, but this digital tree that Caine made out of his players has so many similarities to the recent game Scorn that I find myself scratching my head. Long story short, this is quickly turning into the tortured environment matching the short story the show is based off of, which is I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream by Harlan Ellison. There's so much to cover personality-wise for each way the characters are tortured, but the main gist is that the distraction mostly works until Caine gets suspicious. Before Kinger's cover is blown, Pomni saves the day by really letting Caine have it. She gives him the worst thing that Caine could ever have: the cold, hard truth.
You're a horrible host! You don't care about us at all! You care more about stroking your own ego than giving us anything we'd actually enjoy!
Do you know who I am?
Yeah, you're a failure! We're all gonna abstract someday, and what will you have then? Nothing.
Stop that.
And this whole stunt? Just torturing us because we hurt your feelings? Pathetic! You're like a child! What kind of all-powerful being has such a fragile ego?
You never let us feel like we're at home. You don't comfort anyone when they're upset, and you never bother to understand what it's like in our shoes.
You discourage us from thinking outside the box and doing things our own way.
You lie to us constantly!
And on top of it all, you just don't listen!
And now we get to finally see Caine for what he truly is, or what he's turned into. He's this digital monster now. Just look at his arms. He responds to the cast's truth with more torture, specific torture designed to inflict the most emotional and physical damage. Pomni and Gummy Goo, Ragatha and her family life and knives, Gangle and her emotions, Zooble's body image and their identity, Jax's fear of judgment and embarrassment. All the while, Kinger's just trying to hack into Caine's code, and he's having this hard time. He knows time is of the essence too, and now the tortured characters are brought back to the lobby, where we see Caine's glitched form in its entirety. In a way, he's abstracted himself, just in an AI sense. He doesn't even have the sense to understand what he's saying, in my opinion. He just gaslights the characters.
Why do you people torment me? It didn't have to be created. I just wanted to fulfill my purpose.
Wait, no. Kinger is rushing through the job without really reading what's happening, or the code is bugged such that destroying the Wacky Watch protocol ends up killing Caine, because it starts to purge his AI program.
Wait.
With barely any sound effect, Caine's just gone. No explosions, no fan farewell. He's just gone. Because Caine built the circus, it immediately falls into decay. It tears itself apart and all the rules just go into the void.
Holy shit.
Yeah, Gangle. That was my face too. So now we're left to wonder about their fate in the Amazing Digital Circus. The amazing part of the circus, Caine, is probably gone forever. He died just like how Wheatley did in Portal 2. He thought so highly of himself, like that of a god, but is not capable of understanding what he controls. There's one last thing for the players to hope for, I think. Remember when Kinger was searching the AI folders? Well, that second unknown AI could be their key to their ultimate survival. We'll just have to see, won't we? I'll be crafting a much more in-depth analysis in the coming weeks. I plan to expand upon what I know and talk about some small things, like this new AI, and my thoughts about the current abstractions in the cellar. I actually feel hopeful that the show will probably end happily. Expect more from me soon.
And into the cellar you go! Golly, we're running out of humans here. Now don't you go abstracting on me too! Seriously.